From Mount Rainier, I head north to Fort Nisqually.
We passed upon the stairs, spoken wasn't well, although I wasn't there. Said I was his friend.
Over crossing the famous Tacoma Narrows Bridge. This is the bridge that you always see on TV swinging in the wind. It collapsed in November 1940, just a few months after it opened, all wind gusts due to poor engineering. It was replaced in 1950 and today it's safe to cross.
Which came as a surprise. I spoke into his eyes. I thought you died alone a long, long time ago.
This is European Party. Ja, to europejskie. A tu masz cherry, zobacz, zasłonięte. Do Visitor Center.
So let's start with what is
Chodź przed tym domem ci zrobię.
This is Fort Nisqually, and Nisqually is actually the name of the local Native American tribe that lived here. It was constructed in 1843 as a Hudson Bay Company trading post, but this actually isn't the original location. The original location was actually further south. It was built as a strategic midway point between Canada and the Columbia River, and this place is noteworthy for having the only preserved original Hudson Bay Company buildings in all of the United States. It was the first European trading post on the Puget Sound, staffed by only 3 men. And that was built in 1833 in nearby DuPont. The original location was chosen for its excellent ship anchorage, convenience for overland travel, excellent grazing land for livestock. Over the years, the fort grew from an obscure trading post to an international trading establishment, and trading over 1,100 pelts from beavers, muskrats, raccoons, and river otters. The fort would have been staffed and run by a diverse group of people: Scotsmen, Native Americans, Hawaiian Kanakas, French Canadians, Métis, West Indians, and in its later years, even a handful of Americans.
Are you coming?
This is the factor's house where the Ford doctor and his family lived.
Ja, szynki mają tam w tych workach. Jak lodówka dawniej.
Punkty mięsa lub przynosili zarazki statkami.
Tak jak na Kaszubach widzieliśmy. In 1840, the Puget Sound Agricultural Company was formed to assist the company in its obligations to provide agricultural resources to the Russian-American company. To jest potato?
Potato to. O.
7 jest kitchen garden. Po prostu dawniej jest self-sufficient
To
operation.
tylko, to jest potato to.
Oni self-sufficient byli. Tu robole mieszkali. Też grali sobie w coś. Film oglądali, film oglądali.
I wino
Jedna była Labor Fama, jedna Bachelors.
To drugi skład trzeci, to dłużej było i tu grali w takie pierdoły, gdzie... A, wtedy nie mieli łodzie.
The fort acted not only as a trading post, but also as a security outpost, as there have been prior conflict in this area between settlers and Native Americans. In fact, one of the reasons the original location was chosen was because the tribes there were much more friendlier. Sure. The fort's granary is the oldest buildings in Washington, and one of the only examples of the Hudson Bay Company post and plank architecture. And the factors, house and granary buildings are the only surviving Hudson Bay Company buildings in the entire United States. Oh, fajny.
Chcesz na ten dom, czy nie? Tak pomalutku się rusza, tak to by jest tego.
I'm now backtracking to the state capital of Olympia. The city of Olympia was founded in 1850. Then in 1853 it was chosen as the territorial capital of the Washington Territory, and they actually constructed this beautiful ornate Richardson Rome style building as a courthouse, but then 1905 decided to convert it into the state capital because the original wooden capital was too small to hold all the necessary legal proceedings.
Washington Woman,
Jeszcze wieżyczki miał dookoła, ale w trzęsienie ziemi zostały zniszczone. After Washington achieved statehood in 1889, they chose to keep Olympia as the capital, but once again the old Capitol building we just saw also proved too small, so like around 1900 they started construction on the present day Capitol building. It officially opened in 1927 and all the government was transferred here, but the actual building itself was completed a year later. But so they were already working in here while they were still finishing some bits and pieces, and in fact some additions were made up until around the 1930s, like 1935. The Capitol was designed in a neoclassical revival style as part of a movement called the City Beautiful movement, which started in the early 20th century, whose aim was, as the name suggests, to beautify urban landscapes across America. And Olympia certainly needed that, considering several earthquakes and fires had destroyed the city prior. Nie wiem właśnie co za flaga. Okay, this type of feature right here is known as a sunken garden. It's named that because it's actually built below the street level of the city. Oh.
Nie rosły, nie rosły. Chodź staniecie na ten budynek jeszcze. Ten pomnik i garden. Stań jeszcze raz. Tak na środku.
This is the Tumwater Historic District, allegedly the first American town to be built on the Puget Sound. I thought it was a suburb, but it's actually a separate town. And this house behind me lived the famous singer Bing Crosby. I think the house was actually purchased in the 1860s by his grandfather. It's also Tumwater's oldest historic home. And this home right here was built in 1905 for a German couple for just $1,500 and was later the home of the brewmaster who worked in the nearby famous brewery where we're heading next. We're at the brewery part. There's a third brewery around here somewhere. We're not sure how to get to it. We tried to ask some local who wasn't sure either, but we did find this nice waterfall here on this trail that was suggested to us. As early as the mid-1800s, these rivers and falls were lined with mills and factories, but its most iconic industrial building was brick Italianate style brewery, built in 1906. But as one local told us when we asked him directions to what they haven't brewed anything there in a long time. The final leg of my journey takes me north to the Puget Sound and the charming Norwegian town of Paulsboro. We're in the small town of Silverdale on the Puget Sound. We're going to be spending the night here. No, our hotel we're going to be staying at.
To jest chłodno, szybko się słodzi. Nawet jeżeli silnie działa, o to chodzi. Mówi, że jak chce, to mogą...
Yeah, even on the map, this looks like a lake, but it's actually a very deep arm of the Puget Sound. So we have to sleep with an open balcony because the AC is out. And this morning I was woken up in a way I've never been woken up to. The calls of geese.